this is another kind of way on a daily basis, literally twice a day, 3 times a day. I get to, people ask me all the time, is that Moses? Who's on your arm? And then so on the show, I was able to kind of share the story of Saul and how he used to hate Christians and kill Christians, and on reality television, on national TV, they let me share the gospel. Yeah, it was great. And then Hannah, the girl that did my tattoo, when you're this close to somebody for 13 hours, you get really, especially when you're in a lot of pain, they're comforting you. At the end of the tattoo, she looked at me and I was about to pay her for it, and the Learning Channel pays for half, and then you pay for half. And she looked at me and she goes, you haven't once pushed Jesus in my face, you haven't once judged me, but I'm really interested in this rock music you play at a church for Jesus, and I just want to give this tattoo for free. So yeah, we built a pretty good relationship since then, emailed back and forth. But she's working on my next piece. So this is Saul's conversion, and then this is Gido, to pray in Korean, which is my son's Korean. I adopted him from South Korea when he was 6 months old, and so before I went, I decided prayer is the worst of my spiritual disciplines. And so I was like, well, it'll be a reminder for me to pray for his family, for his mom, who gave him up, for all these things. And I remember calling my mom. So I got this one before I got this one, and telling her that I was going to get prayer to remind me. And she's like, Carlitos, why don't you just put a Post-it note on your computer? And I was like, and it made sense. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I could do that, But it's a rad thing. As a worship leader, I've been leading worship for 15, 20 years. When the word prophesy is in the scripture, and again, I had to do some research here, but the word can actually be translated to sing instead of prophesy. So suddenly in my head, I saw Ezekiel singing over these dry bones, singing over death. And as a worship leader, for me, everything just kind of changed at that point. I just started thinking, oh my gosh, like this is what I'm doing on Sundays. Like I'm standing before people that are dry, dead, without breath. And I'm just in obedience, just like Ezekiel did, singing over them, hopefully giving them life. I've got a friend that showed up this morning that I haven't seen in 16 years. When I tweeted, I said, hey, I'm getting together, and we reconnected on Facebook a couple months. And he shows up, and it's me around a table like this, having breakfast at Keys Bakery. Pancakes are like this big. So all these people I don't know. I don't know any of them. But some of them work for like John Piper Ministries. Some of them work at different churches. Some of them, we're all connected. We're all sitting there. And the last guy that shows up is my buddy Jeff, who I haven't seen in 16 years. Doesn't know the Lord at all. And he walks in and he goes, and I'll edit this for you. He sits down, he's like, Los, it's been 16 mother bleeping years. This is what he says in front of a table, like all these pastors, and I'm just sitting there, my mouth is open, and I'm just like, Jeff, you haven't changed. And I sit down, and now take it 16 years ago, I was right there with him. Like I was right there with him. And he sits down and kind of takes over the conversation. He's still kind of the same guy, and everyone at the table, we didn't have to say a word. Everyone's just like, okay, we're not just going to preach at this guy. We're just going to be with him. And so we're with him, and he's like, well, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm going to this radio station. Well, what radio station? He's just cussing every 4 words. And I tell him, and he's like, oh, is that the Jesus station? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, you sing about Jesus stuff now too, right? And I was like, yeah, I sing about Jesus stuff. And so knowing that even today, I know that he's going to tune into your station. Like I know he is. Because I know it can get mundane, and I know, it's every day. But if you guys follow in that obedience, there's death out there. There's Jeff out there that's going to tune in, and he's going to hopefully hear something that is going to breathe life into him. So, be encouraged by that. Be encouraged by what you guys do, and the songs you guys play and the message you guys speak, because there's death out there, and it's hoping for life. So. Hallelujah to our